I think always. I think always underrated. Then, now, forever maybe. I don't know, because pop music is very silly. Very silly. And I don't think I'm silly. I think I treat the audience with respect and intelligence. And that's very rare. It always was. I think the lyrics are very, very real and very direct. And I think so many people who listen to music want to hear this. They want music to be true. They don't want music to be fake and false and dumb. They want to be treated like intellectuals. They want to be taken on further, not pushed down and not reduced. They want to use their brain. So I think with young people now, once again, they hear the same thing. They hear somebody who is treating them with respect and being true. Now I see the audience is very, very young, and they don't care about the past. They just care about now. And that's, for me, that's very fulfilling. It's very encouraging. It first begins whereby I simply hum, 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 and soon I form the words, and soon I begin to sing the line. And it's important to me that lines are always soft and have soft edges. And I always envisage people singing the song in their homes, in the shower, in the bath. And I always like to have very lilting melodies. So the vocal melody to me is very, very important, because people will hear the melody without knowing the words. And if the melody draws them in, then they listen to the words. So there's no point having very good words if your melodies are all blah, 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 blah. You have to have something that soothes people and makes them interested. I was very, very small, and I was immediately obsessed and transfixed by pop music. And I was transfixed by people who stood on a stage with no musicians and just a microphone, and they threw themselves to the audience, and they threw their life at people, and they sang, and they opened their mouths, and everything came out. And I thought that was the most fantastic art form, because when you think of all the arts, mural, painting, anything, there is nothing as strong as singing the body, throwing the body at somebody and aiming to be powerful, I think. I'm interested in the very classical singers, the very classical pop singers, and I'm not interested in rock music. I never have been, and I don't want to play instruments and so forth. I'm not a musician. I'm a non-musician, but of course the voice is an instrument. So, never disenchanted by Mexico, but being positioned in California for a long time, I can see how Mexicans are treated as secondary, always. And I don't know why, because Mexicans were there first and they built California, so why should they be secondary? So that confused me. But when I come to Mexico and I see, I'm very excited by the drama of Mexico and the drama of a hard life and the slums and the way that people must struggle. Because when you live in a place where you don't need to struggle and everything is very easy, it brings out the worst in people. People become very fat, they do nothing. But when you have to push for your life, and you have to throw yourself into your life, it brings out the best in you, and it brings out colourful characters, and I think art. Because I think all art is created in struggle. All pop music was created by working class people, not by posh rich people. It was always people who were fighting. And so this is why I like Mexico, because I see everywhere, I see people are swimming very hard, almost against the tide. But when you get it right, and when you find what you're looking for and what you need, then it's poetry. I mean, people always ask me where I live, and I don't know why, but they always ask me where I live, and really, I don't live anywhere. I belong, I'm an intergalactic commuter. I'm just in cyberspace. I love Rome also. I love Italy, and I see many facets of Italy and Mexico, which are very similar. The people are very, very similar. even though in Italy perhaps it's a softer culture, but there are similarities, and it's the striving, it's wanting to succeed and change things and do something, and every day I see the world opens up all the time. And there are many places that I can't stand. There are many, many places in the world that, to me, are poetic. And so, who knows? I think it's part of everything dying away, because it's all so easy. You stay at home and you download everything. There's no effort. You don't want to go to record shops. You don't want to go out and see people. So it's all a part of chipping away at the art form of the song. And it is fading. Record shops are disappearing, many things are disappearing, and that's just life. I think CDs were as threatening, really, as downloading is. That really is like the dark spectre over music. But CDs, I mean, it's easy to react against them. Also, if you love the LP, the vinyl, you react against the CD. I think it's worse now. I think it's more soulless now, and there's less of people wanting to go out and experience music and be part of it and wait and anticipation. It's all, I have all these songs, I have all these computers, I hear everything, I have everything, and I stay in bed. So I survive because I have always had a strong live audience, and I don't rely upon awards and the industry, and I don't rely upon being young. So I just have the audience, and I have a strong audience, and that's how people hear me. It's always word of mouth. It's not mass promotion. So that's why I'm still here. And it's all very corporate, and it's all very organized, and everybody is heavily controlled. It's very difficult in pop music and rock music to see somebody who is a free spirit and who is doing as they wish, because it isn't really allowed. You have to knuckle down and behave yourself, and that's no good, because you can't structure art. You can't schedule art. I would always live from minute to minute, from hour to hour, because I always felt at the beginning that I couldn't really see beyond this single, the next album. That's as far as I could see. So I didn't ever feel that in 20 years' time, 25 years' time, I would be in Mexico and I would be speaking to you. That was beyond the realms for me. It was impossible. And because pop music is so, the turnover is so quick anyway, people just come and go. I didn't ever think in terms of 30 years, 25 years. That's impossible. And even now, I don't think ahead. I don't think, well, in 5 years' time I'll be everywhere. It was always just this first single, the second single, the third single, wow, the fourth single, but never beyond. If you believe that you are a saint, then you must also believe that you are crap. I deal with it by never quite believing that, because if you believe that, then you have to believe all the terrible things that people read about you. People write about you. You have to believe the awful things. So really you must close your eyes to everything, absolutely everything, and just do what you do and do what you feel is best for yourself. Because if you fall into it and think, yes, I'm incredible, I'm unbelievable, then you'd go mad. I think I was the first person to sing in a very true way, in a very human way. And when I first began, people always said I was too doleful and too flat singing. I wasn't sparkly and I wasn't rock and roll and I wasn't singing in American voice. So now in England and in America on the radio, everybody sing with a very flat voice. They're being themselves. And there weren't many people who were successful in the early 80s who sang that way. And I was criticized for it, but people now are not criticized. Initially, when I became solo, I think if I had sang all of the Smith songs, people would say, well, you're only successful because you're singing the Smith songs. So I think it was very important for me to establish the solo songs. which has been done. So now I feel that I can sing Smith songs and I won't get lots of criticism because I've proved myself as a solo artist. I think they are very good songs and I think they stand the test of time. I don't feel as if they're old-fashioned, they're from a bygone age. So I think they're very relevant and I believe in them still. And so I'm happy to sing them. You can only sing so many songs, and it's very difficult to choose. Should I mention the TV show? I'll just say, Viva Mexico, Morrissey, see you soon, hasta luego.